Today, let's embrace unexpected, non-routine moments as part of the routine itself. Good morning, beautiful soul. Matt here, and welcome to our final day, day 7 of our morning routine journey. What a healthy refresh this journey has been. Thank you for joining me. Today we are going to do a bit of gratitude practice. We have the mindful moment as we review that sacred pause. We're going to have a little micro challenge and a releasing ritual. So, grab your snorkel. Let's dive in. Starting the day with gratitude creates clear space for new possibilities to emerge. When we start our morning with gratitude, getting out of bed will be that much easier as our day is instilled with meaning beyond what's on the to-do list. Not to mention the wealth of health a consistent gratitude practice brings, including more positive emotions, a stronger immune system, better sleep, a deeper sense of connection to all things, more appreciation for others, and just more enjoyment all around. Shaka Senghor is the head of diversity, equality, inclusions at Trip Actions, and he shares, "The very first thing I do in the morning is focus on gratitude and 3 things I'm thankful for. I practice gratitude on a daily basis." So how about you? What are a few things you're grateful for right now? But what if we ran out of coffee? What if our favorite morning robe is missing in action? Or a loved one is reaching out for support right in the middle of our sacred morning routine? Well, morning routines hardly ever play out exactly as we want them to. So the way we respond to disruptions in our morning flow is an essential element to consider and prepare ourselves for. Schneider is an endurance athlete, motivational speaker, author, coach, and she shares, "There is enormous power in nailing your morning routine, but there is even more power in adapting it to when life doesn't happen as we'd like." Routine aids in being our most productive, but change helps us expand our comfort zone. Both are positive. How we adapt to the unexpected is always our choice, if we choose. The more rigid we hold on to our precious morning routine, the more likely we will create unhelpful resistance when the inevitable unknown sneaks past our courageous boundaries. This can either dishearten us from committing to our routine altogether, or it can ensure the rest of the day doesn't suffer unnecessarily by choosing to adapt with intentions like acceptance, grit, and grace. Joel Gascoigne is the co-founder and CEO of Buffer, and he shares with us, "I used to allow missing an aspect of my routine to negatively impact my whole day. Now I see life as a continual fluctuation of routine, with change being the only constant. If I fail, I know that I need to take away 1 or 2 layers of my routine and get down to the basic pillars: good sleep, a mindful start, exercise, and water." In times of distress, feel your feet on the ground and take a deep breath. The body can quickly get wound in a stress bundle if we're reacting habitually rather than responding mindfully. Interrupting stress response patterns, that's where the magic is. And it can be as simple as noticing when the body tenses up with fear and resistance. And this usually happens with shallow upper chest breathing and contracting muscles. That's part of a typical stress response. And when this happens, we can just notice, pause to take a deep breath or two, and if a bigger reset is needed, never underestimate the power of a nap. A good 10-minute nap or 10-minute meditation works wonders. Sarah Kathleen Peck is a writer, designer, researcher, long-distance swimmer, and she shares with us a fun story. In college, I had a major swimming competition coming up, and for reasons outside my control, I didn't sleep the night before, as I had a major asthma attack all night from chemical imbalances in the pool in Chicago. I went to my coach the next morning, haggard, and said, "I feel terrible." He told me to lie down for 30 minutes and to visualize that I'd gotten the best rest of my life and that it was a champion day, and then come back. When I came back, he said, "Here's the thing. If you had perfect circumstances, you could own this race. You could win. The bigger challenge is winning even when you're down, even when you're fatigued. Get out there and fight, despite the circumstances." He taught me that no one has perfect circumstances, and that you're allowed to go on and do incredible things, even if you're not feeling perfect about it. Often, we get so wedded to a routine that we forget that things can go haywire, and you can still do an incredible job. If you don't feel like you met your morning routine's expectations today, that's okay. Tomorrow is a new day. Each day is another wonderful opportunity to inch closer towards living in more alignment with our desires and intentions. We learn how to grow by falling short. As our own toughest critic, we get to practice forgiving ourselves endlessly and continue celebrating our successes and failures throughout it all. Crystal Payne is an author and speaker, and she shares, "I have a choice. I can choose to beat myself up over the fact that I'm not following my usual routine, or I can give myself grace. I'm working on doing a better job at giving myself grace because life happens, and it's okay that we don't always do everything we hoped or planned to do. The best thing I can do on those days is to remind myself just to do what I can." If your morning routine feels like it's falling apart, simplify it to one or two things. This may be your morning meditation session, sipping coffee in silence, or adding one colorful swirl to a canvas. Let creativity get you back on track by indulging in the little things, like a brief walk outside, standing up and stretching, jumping up and down, or just breathing deeply. Kat Noon is the CEO of Stark, product designer, and cookie connoisseur, and she shares, "Not everything goes according to plan, but it's usually not the end of the world. If something derails my typical routine, I try to get the most important tasks done more than miscellaneous ones. I just have to prioritize. Then all is well." So how about you? If you could only stick to one thing in your morning routine, what would it be? It's not only okay to step out of a well-paved routine sometimes, it's also encouraged. Releasing old habits that are no longer serving us and trying new things requires us to veer off the trail from time to time. Consistent feelings of falling short of our morning routine might mean that it's time to shake things up a bit. Manuel Lima is a designer, author, and lecturer, and he shares with us, "Routines are like any set of rules. They can be helpful in giving a sense of consistency, but at times, breaking them can be extremely liberating. Being a slave to a single routine can prevent spontaneity and unexpected discoveries. Getting bored of the same old? Consider creating a few different routines that you can choose from each morning. Focus on not being rigid. Shake things up a bit from time to time and have fun with it. Patrick Ward is a writer, designer, and senior UX research at GoDaddy, and he shares, if I start failing to do a certain part of my routine, this is usually a sign that I need to change things up. No routine will work forever, so I always keep an eye out for ways I can improve my routine or make it more efficient. There is no right or wrong way to release what no longer serves you. The most effective way to perform a releasing ritual starts with you. The best, most effective ceremony is all about tapping into your own intuition and letting your heart guide you. So if there are some things you would like to release from your morning routine to make space for what's next, here are some fun ways to play with releasing. Open some windows. Let some fresh air in while you acknowledge what is no longer working for you. Burn some incense as you reflect on some ways this transitioning way of being has served you in the past. Give your morning space a good cleaning as you acknowledge what thoughts and feelings arise. Spend some time journaling about what you would enjoy in place of what you're releasing. So how about you? What is one element of your morning that you can release with gratitude to create space for something new? And that wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining me on today's session on adapting within our morning routine. And thank you if you've been on this entire 7-day journey. Ooh, feels good. Feels so good. Feels like fertilized soil, ripe for some new growth. We would love to hear what was inspired within your morning routine. You can share in the comments or find a link to join us over in our private activity feed at Intention Inspired. And stay tuned. We have a lot of fun journeys and inspiring creations in the works. So I look forward to continue living with more intention with you. I'll see you soon. Peace, love, adapt.